Game 4 between Fortitude and Happy. Currently the score is 2-1 for Fortitude. If you want to watch the previous games, refer to the videos that came out right before this one on this channel. These two players should need no introduction, but I like to indulge in the redundant. They're the top 3 players in the world. Fortitude, aka No Name, being the rank 1, and Happy being the rank 1 Undead. Did I say rank 1? Or rank 1 human? He's the rank 1 human. Happy is the rank 1 Undead, and until recently was also the rank 1 in general, but has recently been knocked off his perch by Lynn. So it's the rank 2 versus the rank 3 right now. This is done via the website warcraft3.info, which is also a great community resource for downloading replays, maps, seeing some strategy and opinion articles, and they also have the ELO ranking, which uses a classical ELO structuring and measures all the tournament games that these guys play. How is Lynn first? I never see him win. Well, you're not watching a lot of Lynn then. All he does is win. But I jealously keep those replays for myself, so I don't show them to you. No, I just showed it a few days ago. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. 2 times speed. Until their heroes come out. It's Lich first again. Fortitude is gonna go for an Archmage, which is a mystical hero, adapt at ranged assaults. Can learn Blizzard, summon Water Elemental, Brilliance, Aura, and we'll never know the last one. Mass Teleport. Ranged Assault. He didn't even touch that Lich. It was from range. With Fireballs, Water Elemental, and Blizzard. Picks up a clause of attack +5. Leaves the final troll with just Militia so that he can head on to the next count. This gains him 1 or 2 seconds. Are there any other legit openings for human? Yes, you can open Mountain King expansion. Mountain King expansion creates a lethal weapon out of the Mountain King, who can kill heroes and units quite well by himself. But he's notably and significantly worse at controlling expansion wars. And expansion war are the name of the game right now. Imagine the difference between a half HP Mountain King, because he's been tanking for his footmen and militia. A half HP Mountain King that has 3 spells and then becomes a big footman. Or an Archmage who's a ranged turret, tanking for his units, or at least he should be, with the Water Elementals. And is then able to launch a level 3 Archmage attack, constantly summoning new elementals, cancelling Goldmine, when Mountain King can't do the half of it. You look at the last games and you think, could Mountain King have got those Goldmine cancels? No, he could not. Let's see who gets this troll. Ah, Lich. Happy did the feint, the cancel, the hold, and then he pumped that damage and he got the troll. So he stole 2 creeps here. That means Archmage is 2.6, Lich is 2.4. No Goldmine yet. Happy has decided to tech with a Ziggurat option, no Nerubian. So different than the other 3 games. A full commit on harass. It's a little bit actually like Tidehunters, where he also had the Ziggurats with no commit and then attack. On that map he went for double Slaughterhouse Destroyer Bust, if you remember. Happy there went for the Skeleton Deny rather than a hit on Archmage. Arcane Tower is so far away. And the conscription is in full swing. He's sending all his peasants into militia to come and defend this place. Expecting to lose many peasants. He's sending more and more. Not these 2 yet though. He thinks he might be able to stabilize.
Are under attack.
What's that consumable Lich has? You are correct not to know it in a way, neighbor's Wi-Fi. An old school player, I see. This is a new item called the Sacrificial Dagger, or the Ritual Dagger, I think it's called. And I don't know what it's called, Ritual or Sacrificial. Maybe it's Sacrificial. But anyway, what it does, 2 charges, 125 gold, purchasable from the Tomb of Relics. Kill one of your own units that are undead. Can be skeleton or ghoul. Cast a half strength regeneration scroll. Half as strong as humans regen scroll. 2 charges, but must sacrifice a unit. Slightly higher price. It's about a tier B item. Maybe tier B or tier C. It does what Undead wants early game, which is to get non-death coil healing on heroes. And it's also pretty good on a group of ghouls. Ghouls have many other ways to heal, like cannibalize, blighted ground. But Ritual Dagger is the one that keeps you on the map. Lich just purchased Circlet, Claws, and Staff, while selling 1 ring.
A player's forces are under
That is
attack.
so many items to buy when you're on 1 base versus 2. He basically spent more than a gold mine's worth of money on items just to make his Lich a powerhouse. And the Staff of Teleportation allows him to go into the base with great impunity. And you better believe 1 more Frost Nova is coming out of this cat. He killed his own ghoul because he knew Archmage would eventually chase it down.
A player's
Such
forces are under
foresight.
attack.
But so sad for the ghoul, who never knew that it was necessary. He's like, maybe the Archmage won't chase me, no! There is no other way, says Venom Iceblade. It is for the greater good. And we now find out that it is indeed true. All ghouls get chased down. So with that ghoul dead and the other one dead, we're seeing unit losses that a 1-base player can ill afford compared to a 2-base player. Is this going to be a tier 2 expansion? Surely not. It's hard to explain exactly why bad that is. It's hard to explain exactly why that is bad, because you may think, well, opponent has an expansion. Don't you want an expansion? But you're creating an anti-timing. When you think of the game in power spikes, imagine if you're just watching this on radio, you're not actually looking at the screen now. I'm making a graph-like motion with my hand right now. Think of a game in power spikes. A power spike is where the graph undulates up, and then a power valley or a dip is where it goes down. If you're fast expanding, you have a power valley. And if you're expanding at any time, there's a valley in your power. There are also peaks that come from new technologies, such as Destroyer's first appearance, Orb of Corruption's first appearance, the first time your hero comes out, first time second hero comes out, etc. And so Happy is halfway to teching to tier 3, has 2 statues in escrow, is waiting for Destroyer training to begin. If he then also expands, he's combining a current power valley, which is he's investing a lot in tech. He will then add a second power valley. Now I'm also expanding. And then when his peak is supposed to come out, which is when Destroyers finish, because of his investments in protecting and setting up an expansion, he won't even be able to buy Orb of Corruption or morph his Destroyers or make a 3rd Destroyer. So you've created the perfect synchronicity of suck, where you don't have enough power in any direction. So it's better to expand at 3, 4, 5 minutes, the latest. And if that doesn't work, don't do it at all. Don't expand at like 6, 7, 8 minutes in Warcraft 3, generally speaking. If you are someone that can fast expand. That's why, like, yesterday when we looked at Grass League Legends, the Bronze League heroes of yesterday, the 900 MMR players, you saw the human went for like a 6-minute or 7-minute expo at tier 2. And I called it unusual. It's because you're just creating a power valley. You just completed your tech, and then you expand, but you're not using your tech. So then why did you tech? Might as well expand earlier, or use your tech. Don't do both, and then neither are paying off yet. You see what I'm saying? Of course, you can play however you want, but if you're in the arts of playing good, of doing well, playing well, then you try to combine power spikes with full dedication. And Fortitude is certainly playing his part well. He's got his expansion, he's prepared for the Destroyer bust, but unlike the Tidehunters game, where he very nearly lost against the Destroyer bust, he's now even able to find windows and constantly is looping around to get cancellations and destructions. So he just killed Tomb of Relics. That's a prerequisite building for continual obsidian statue production. So that this one destroyer and the 2 statues, they will not get any new siblings. This slaughterhouse cannot get pregnant right now until Tomb of Relics sows the seeds of their creation of the statues. Meanwhile, No Name, Double Workshop, is gonna make flying machines. I call him No Name, it's Fortitude, that's the name he picked. E.T. Lumber, no Goblin Shredder this time. Has a good amount of peasants, I think he's gonna be aight. And Happy is making one of those hardest decisions where he has decided that he cannot destroyer bust. He knows enough that the situation that he had to nearly win the game on Tidehunters is not nearly as potentially favorable for him as it could be. And so he has committed the cardinal sin of power spiking into tech and then not using it for offense, but using it to do an extremely late stage expansion. If you were to make a choice of fast expo into tech, late, now you can make a lot of tech. Or a fast tech into a late expansion, but you're only using it for defense, then of course you would understand the preferable is the early expo. But he didn't get to make that choice. Fortitude was too much all over him. He's in a very comfortable position. Double healing potion, boots. Now that Fortitude has recognized that Happy has created a power valley to accompany his power spike, he realizes he's not going to get overwhelmed by destroyers this game. That means that he can stop making towers. He did not need to overly commit to flying machines. He's just got the 2 here and he's making another 2. Definitely didn't step on the pedal for that production. And he is sneaking in, somewhat out of the beaten path, triple Griffin Aviary. A much quicker transition into those. Griffins were more of an afterthought on Tidehunters. A combination unit that he ended up adding after establishing several knights and flying machines and defending against the initial torrent and onslaught of Happy's aggression. Not so much now. He realized, hey, you're not committing to this. It's Griffin time, baby. He's doing a little Stormbolt to try and drop Lich's damage and does a very safe TP out. It's just a conservationist TP. Is conserving whatever units he has. Footmen aren't worth much to him now, despite the 1 attack upgrade. But they're worth more to him to die to by his own hand than to give them as free XP to the Undead heroes. Now Undead is doing a good job. Happy is making sure to create a semi-circle of deprivation for Fortitude by creeping this ogre camp, maybe hollowing out this laboratory, by forcing a vacating of this area. Happy has removed many of the camps and is continuing to try to do so now with the laboratory. He's taken away camps that are near and convenient for Fortitude, while at the same time aggressively zoning away Fortitude's presence that might progress towards Happy's expansion location. Happy doesn't have any upgrades this game. It's one of the things he had to cut away in order to cut costs to afford the expansion. And he's leveling up his heroes. That's one area that he's a little stronger at. He's level 432 against 42. That's a 3 advantage. That's 3 more. That's not less than 3. That's exactly 3. And even though Happy tried to hollow out the laboratory option for Fortitude, Fortitude cleverly took the more risky further laboratory, recognizing Happy is playing a boa constrictor style, where he's trying to squeeze away the life of the map away from Fortitude. And just like Happy is now going to try and match Fortitude's position to force engagement while his heroes are higher level and Fortitude hasn't spammed units yet, Fortitude is mirroring that. and being all contradictory, gone to the opposite side of the map, which has been spotted by Happy's lesser Dark Minion, courtesy of Clea Deathstrider, the level 2 Dark Ranger. Griffins cannot hit the Magnetar Reaver as he's magic immune. That means the total DPS on the Magnetar is probably about 100. He has 1500 health, so he's got 15 seconds. The only problem is Happy's arriving in 5. So he backs off, knowing he can't finish the Reaver. This might be Happy's.
Players' forces are under attack.
How's the Lich damage? Oh, it's not bad. 23 bonus damage on a base of 35. So he's got 58 damage per hit. And if you listen to the dulcet tones of Corruption, attack speed is about 1.4, maybe. 1.4 or so. One attack every 1.4 seconds. So DPS of Lich is probably about 48 or something. It's quite a lot. And that's exacerbated by the Corruption effect. -4 armor. Depending on what he hits, that's a lot of damage. Mountain King has 3 armor, so he'll actually get 6% bonus damage after the initial hit. Or maybe even for the initial hit. I think Orb of Corruption effect might proc before the damage point, actually.
A player's force
What's the item?
attack.
Oh, wow. Ancient Django of Endurance. 3% attack speed, 5% movement speed. This is greatly nerfed from its original form, which was 5%, 10%. I miss my big endurance aura effect. Somehow Happy was able to survive. Somehow the Emperor returned. He is at 80 population with Master Banshees, Fiends with Web, Destroyers, Gargs.
A player's forces are under attack.
He's got better hero levels. But there's so many Griffins. He needs Magic Shell right now. Magic Shell will block 300 magic damage. That's a Stormbolt, that's 100. And it's gone. Gotta coil it and re-AMS it. These are hard fights to micro, guys. That's a ritual to deny the 60 experience Fiends would otherwise represent. Gargoyles are getting smashed by flying machines. No chance whatsoever. Mountain King is getting focused. Not the preferential target. Just gets staffed, very valuable. Air-wise, Fortitude dominated, killing the 3 guards and 1 or 2 destroyers or so. And in the pieces of this, Happy has almost nothing left. Whatever ghouls he had vanished like snow before the sun. 60 pop after he had units in production. He basically went from 80 to 50 from that fight, losing every single air unit and all of his ghouls. Couple of fiends even. And Fortitude is not showing any signs of relenting. Without a third base, and with Happy having solid vision on both of them, with an Acolyte in each. No Name, aka Fortitude, does not have any long-term plans. He is, so to speak, not saving up for his retirement. He's burning it all on bloopers and rope. 86 population. He's living life at the large. Talisman of Evasion on the Mountain King, quite nice. Picks up an invul, and that's it. He has no more money. It's it. 86, high upkeep. 40% income only. Does Fortitude know about upkeep? Yes, this is not the Shire. He knows. This is Lordaeron. No D-shield on Paladin. He picked Aura. But look at the damage. The Griffin hammers are cleaving whenever you position vertically. Whenever you're opposed to them in a line. Fiend web damage is looking pretty good. I feel like many Griffins are dying. Is Happy doing it? Lich died with level 5. He had Magic Shell standing right next to them. Oh no, I don't think that should have happened. What's the pop for Fortitude? I think he might have won if he kept Lich alive. Because so many Griffins are dying. He's keeping his flying machines alive. He's sending a unit right now to try and get the Lich back, but he doesn't have the money for it unless he cancels everything he has in production. He's got nothing in production. That's one really cool thing about this. The flying machines are killing Goldmine, which means he was repairing the tower and whatnot, so he couldn't get the Lich. I think he just sold items to try and get the Lich. But he still doesn't have enough. This is very unfortuitous for Happy. Very fortitudinous for Fortitude. Really funny that Fortitude brought peasants to do some hotfix on the flying machines. Look at this. He's repairing the flying machine. He brought the peasant to repair the flyings while they're fighting. How is it possible? They're flying. Look at this. This is breaking my immersion. This, in this high fantasy game, this is what broke my immersion. This is a very bold attack by Fortitude. He finally gets the gold mine. Holy Light's his own Griffin. He's gonna kill a fiend, loses the Griffin. Meanwhile, peasants try to sneak in towers, but Happy has excellent map awareness, notices what's going on, and sends ghouls to try and deal with that. DK gets self-blocked, and then Stormbolted level 2 with Holy Light level 2 and gets murdered. I think Fortitude has done it. With his 3-1 Griffins and his 1-0 flyings. That assassination on Lich. That even had a town portal. It was the perfect Stormbolt and focus target. At the right time. Not a foolproof plan. He could have received Magic Shell from the Banshee. But these fights are hectic AF. And he managed to overwhelm Happy. No easy feat. GG, that means Fortitude wins the series 3-1. Very impressive. And the series right before this, Happy won 3-0. So if you think any race is imbalanced, let me know in the comments. Because I think they both are against each other. Diametrically opposed.